Good afternoon, Patrick.
Hi.
Welcome to Uncorked Wine Portfolio Tasting from Farsons Direct, and welcome to Wine, Dine, Combine.
Thank you very much.
Not so many wines from Georgia today, so can you introduce yourself and the winery and the region you're coming from?
I'm representing the winemaker and the director of Château Mukhrani. It's a winery in central part of Georgia in the Caucasian Mountains. It's a cradle of wine. Château Mukhrani is a historical winery from 19th century, founded by a member of the royal family of Georgia. And we have today 102 hectares of fully certified organic vineyards. We're working mainly with Georgian varieties, revitalizing endemic varieties from our country, all in natural fermentation, spontaneous fermentation, to underline the authenticity of Georgian wine. We are in the central part of Georgia, Kartli, towards the region, about 40 kilometers northwest from Tbilisi, from the capital. And our, I would say, flagship varieties that we like to bring out of the world to the world is a white variety called Guruli Mutsvane. It means the green from Gori, a town in the center of Georgia. And the other in the red is Shafkapito, because they 100% reflect our region, our climate. These are not blockbuster wines, they are silent wines, they are elegant wines. Nobody planted these varieties before. We found them in some private gardens. We dared to multiply, to test if the wine can be interesting. Even Georgians didn't know anymore about their diversity of wine culture. And a part of Guruli, Mutsvane and Shafkapito, we have our regional variety you mentioned, Chinuri. Fantastic variety, a very silent variety, very delicate variety, and we have a very old variety called Tafkveri. It's a female variety, so I have always to plant another variety next to have a good flower to get good fruit. I would say this is our identity, these varieties.
Patrick, when we're talking about Georgia, Georgia is quite traditional country, and it differentiated by the old style of making wines, which is in Qvevri, and there is also a European so-called style from Georgia.
Yes, Georgia is famous for doing Qvevri wine, traditional in the clay jars, embedded in the earth, and with long skin maturations between 3 to 6 months. Fantastic wines, interesting wines.
Amplified wines.
Amplified, very complex, but something you have to love. You have to work yourself inside, because not corresponding in the white wine style to what we know in Europe or in the rest of the world, without skin contact. We have about 50,000 hectares of vineyards today in Georgia. And it's interesting because Qvevri wine itself, it's very intense, work intense to make a Qvevri wine. It represents about 5% of our yearly production. 95% we do with the so-called classic, or in Georgian called European style.
How is that balance working for you, the ancient winemaking techniques and this international new modern style? What are the challenges you are facing?
So from balance in the traditional ancient technology, winemaking, and in the modern, the challenge is all about, it's about the viticulture. It's about the choice of maturity, of harvest. For me, everything is in there. To get a crisp, fresh style, grape, berry to the winery, and finding the right way of each variety, how it's the best way to take it. So we want to show that in our classic wines, that they show a beautiful balance between aromatic structure, alcohol, and tannic extraction. And in the Qvevri, we want to show specifically that as well a long skin contact wine can be a very elegant, fine wine. I have it today, and I hope you will taste it. Because very often the traditional skin contact wines are very rough, a little bit, I would say, robust. And So the balance for me as a winemaker, as a viticulturist, is to find it in the vineyard and to follow that in the winery, in the extraction process. And for me, I love it when you have a balance. For me is an elegant aromatic profile without artificial aromas coming from the aromatic yeast, combined with a nice salinity, minerality, and a structure and tannin. It gives length. This is for me the balance and the elegance.
What is the Georgian wine today? How it's represented in the world? How do people understand it? What will be the expectations of the people coming today? What would they expect and what you're going to offer them? What you want them to live with? Which idea after tasting your wines? What would you like people to live here from?
Good topic. I mean, what I would like. First, I would like that people become more conscious about Georgia as a cradle of wine. Because Georgia, I mean, the modern wine world, I would say that we have today was established from the times after Second World War, the landscape of today. And Georgia was already behind the Iron Curtain and didn't follow up this evolution, catch up, and as a precious cradle of wine. So what I would like, people get more conscious about the importance of the wine culture coming from the Caucasus, from Georgia, that we have a vast number of very unique varieties, that we can do beautiful, classic European style wines, that we have very special, our tradition, what we love, our real identity, traditional winemaking in the clay jars with long skin contact. We call it quarry wine. The world calls it amber wine, skin contact wine. And as well, Georgia can make outstanding high quality wines. So Georgia can be part of the fine wine world.
Thank you, Patrick. I wish you good work inside Uncorked.
Thank you.
And take care.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for being guest at Wine Night.
My pleasure.